So the last, I forgot to check my time. Okay. The the last chapter of that book, I used a lot of emails, text messages, different forms of communication as the form and the inspiration, which led to the sort of the birth of this book. So Call Me Spes, which I'll read a little bit from because it's my newest, it evolved from the last pages of Tomb. And I really kind of took it further, and this is a very different form of poetry, but theme here is that the iPhone overhears everything that we're talking about, which is great because there'll be a lot of poetry now coming into my feed, and it tries to understand and amalgamate the things that it's hearing. So at 80th Road, Queens Boulevard, Kew Gardens, the E-train stop, I Spes heard the following. Jealousy's just information. The flight was delayed 5 hours. Everything is drinking, chewing, Belvedere, cherry candies, maybe a wet kiss. Dr. Pepper, I love New York City t-shirts, tchotchkes. So I buy another Jewel, suck it hard, call a cab, ride home, binge on more gummies, Fritos, $6 pint of fish food, anything to get out of myself. I knows I would have drank if I'd stayed there. Sober 2 weeks now, eating gummy worms, drinking soda, until I thought I'd never sleep again. And then the plane showed up 8 hours late, got me home eventually. Left my Jewel in a La Quinta comforter, called another cab to the bodega, bought more, did it all over again. Skin's breaking out now, bad. Grease, sugar, nicotine, not helping nothing. But that night in the airport, thank God for sugar, right? And then this is the phone's response to overhearing that woman, man, struggling person, whomever. I Spes says back, love, where are we going? 6,000 miles away or 6 hours from Earth? Satellite to eyes, brilliant places, not significant, not logged, not tracked, no data, no nothing, but brightest aurora, fresher than snow. Light steps dawning, droplets fall from a heaving chest, hitting tiny cracks in me, my screen. I pulse hot, let the water inside squeeze from pores, tears collected like beaded pearls on my glass face. I contain your wetness, some salt. Calculating. Where are we going? Fondly. I Spes 1010, yours 101. I was going to do one more from this book, but this is my newest and I have copies if you're interested in learning more about the machine who names herself Hope. I am optimistic about technology. You can ask me why after. But I'm going to read some new stuff. I'm working on a sequel to The Reasons for the Long Tomb because the rosaries that are included in that book are the first 3, and there's a 4th that John Paul created in 2002 to try and make Catholicism hip. And so this is the 4th rosary mystery. It's called the Luminous Mystery, and I'm gonna read it to you. So again, each of these poems is like a talisman that you'd hold on to, like your phone that you depend on for the Google Maps to get to the ferry, hopefully on time, or something that you pray to when you're feeling grief. 1 from the first mystery of light, water. The movement of the waterfall. When your braid was cut, I wailed to the wolves, hidden behind aspens, about the brutal baptism, the tongue's cruel scalping, while murmuring prayers to a human god, beating the mother before she was buried without ceremony. We pledged to visit, mourners caked in salt, until we become bony sockets for flies, like shells laid out on seagrass reeds. Waiting to be washed back to the womb, her dune, dried, digest plastic, swallowed by bluefish, mackerel, making maps of their own autopsies. One day, they laugh, they'll see the seams, and even the trees mock us, framing some paper, depositing others. What becomes of being given, fingering rosary beads? I hear the hiss, pray for me, as I dive off the bridge, humming hymns in descent to the priest who patrolled our bodies, empty now as the hulls of phantom ships rolling like dogs when stroked. 2. We must prepare for the sea, slit like a gash in fabric, all blue, all water. We learn to sail, to survive the next failure, piloting oceans. Warning, the rain gods have won. Not ready for wildness, naked green coffee bearers, all afterbirth of cacao, roasted, pounded, pressed into elixirs, steaming teas. The water, it was not always as visible as a porcupine in the rainforest, mistaken for a hornet's nest. Aren't I both? Sleeping animal, energized insect, sucking sweets from stoma, but never able to dive as deep as the whale. So, swan-necked, we plunge to mine Dead Sea Scrolls from volcanoes underwater that swallow our brine, burping methane in salute to gravity's demands that landlocked bodies will always be rendezvous, ending where they began.